We have lost the opportunity. For it ultimately amounts to a surrender. The way the things are going, there is no hope. We are participating in delimitation process. We are participating in elections. On this course, I don't see 370 coming back. We need to bounce back and struggle for our rights. The way things have been turning out, I think it's just the settlement is on delimitation and the election after the delimitation, and that election will take place in the current system that India has imposed, or the government of India has imposed on Jammu and Kashmir. So from autonomy to 370 to statehood to now, a delimitation and a government, an elected government under UT administration. That's what we have come down to. And I have been speaking against this. I have been putting my point that at this time we need not to, rush. We need not to hurry. We need to get our act together. And this time we should be dictating our terms. Let's not participate in any process that gives legitimacy to the decisions of August 5. Let's not help Government of India to give a false perception of a false normalcy in Kashmir. Let's not be part of that. Instead, let's get our act together and fight back and put our terms. We should not settle for anything less than 370 or what we had on 4th August 2019. I wouldn't speak of one party only. Every entity which claims to represent Jammu and Kashmir, if that entity participates in these processes, that somehow naturally gives legitimacy to the decisions of August 5, and the legitimacy endorsement that India is seeking, the government of India is seeking to sell internationally. And they could claim that the August 5 decisions have been accepted practically, and Kashmir after August 5 with this new system dictated by government of India, that's BJP and RSS, is a Kashmir which has been accepted by the Kashmiris also. And I think we have lost the opportunity to put across the point that Jammu and Kashmir is very serious about 370 and its rights and the constitutional guarantees that it was given to it while it acceded to Union of India. The way things have been turning, I agree with you. Yes, these things give legitimacy to the abrogation of Article 370. If they may not posture publicly claiming that the Article 370 is done and dusted, they are not seriously looking for it. But I am afraid that the political establishment in Jammu and Kashmir has largely accepted the abrogation of 370 as fait accompli. So therefore the critics who refer to past and give examples of the moments when same agreements were carried out, those critics are somehow given a reason to claim that their claim is based on substances. Because this time we showed that we didn't put our best foot across, and we didn't stand for our constitutional rights. All we came back was satisfied with delimitation and elections post. Even I would go to the extent that the political establishment was at least giving us false hope, to which I didn't personally agree, that they will come back with return of statehood, to which I didn't endorse, I didn't agree personally, but that's what they wanted to get out of this meeting and sell that to the people of India as a CBM, as a build up to further course. I would ask that they didn't even come back with a statehood. They came back, all that was obvious that BJP government wanted, and they were dictated to accept that, and they came back accepting and showing their eagerness to participate in the process. We say we didn't surrender. I don't understand what do we mean by surrender. Is it uh, surrender by your language or surrendering practically? If I see how the things are happening, practically what we are doing is we are accepting 370 as fait accompli. That's a surrender, and we are eagerly waiting to participate in a process which is subservient to a system which the system which came into existence after the abrogation of 370. Therefore, a system which came to fore in a result of abrogation of Article 370, participating in that system means you are accepting that system. You cannot be, I mean, halfway there and halfway there. You have to stand very, I mean, unambiguously on your point, whether you want to participate in post August 2019 Jammu and Kashmir, or you want to stand and struggle for the 370 and whatever we had before August 5, 2019. Practically what we are doing is a surrender. We are participating in delimitation process, we are participating in elections, and these all are the part of result of same bill which abrogated 370. On this course I don't see 370 coming back. So therefore it ultimately amounts to a surrender. The way the things are going, there is no hope. If we continue on this course, I don't see any hope, because I'm not happy saying this. I say this out of concern. The political establishment is more concerned about the return of political powers, power corridors, electoral relevance, instead of being concerned about the return of the rights of Jammu and Kashmir. So now the political establishment in Jammu and Kashmir sees the future of Kashmir in the return of electoral process and political power and the power corridors. So on this course I don't see any hope. I don't see anyone struggling for return of 370. All we hear are excuses that it's sub judice and we'll continue to fight it in court. So we will not struggle outside court. We are not violent people. We will not protest. I mean, that amounts to surrender. You can see people all over India, those who didn't accept the CAA and Stevens amendment bill, and then the people who came out against the farmers bill, they are all fighting and struggling and they are protesting. It's all within their democratic rights, and they are not coming up with an excuse because BJP took it away from us. Farmers are not giving this excuse that because BJP brought this law, we will not ask BJP to take back this law. They are protesting against the same government because they believe this is wrong, so they are not participating in implementation of this law, and they are instead struggling and protesting against it. Same way, the same fact goes with the people who protested against CAA. They want the same government to take it back. So instead in Kashmir, we are giving excuses that because BJP took away Article 370, so we cannot ask them to give back 370. Therefore, we will fight in court. So these are all excuses, and this makes one feel, unfortunately, that there's no hope on this course. And I personally do not see any future even in return of statehood. I would go to that extent. For me, statehood, it's an humiliation. It's a humiliation for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. We exceeded on our terms. We earned. 370 is not a special status. It's not something that we got specially because we were begging for something special. This is hard-earned right by the people of Jammu and Kashmir. We exceeded on the terms of 370. The accession of Jammu and Kashmir to go to the Union of India was on terms and conditions. We bargained for that. So it's rightly earned status for us, position for us. I have always maintained, and I will repeat it here, that I don't mind every state getting its own status like 370. It's their own job. How they want to live in this federal structure is for them to decide. I will not dictate Maharashtra how they should be living in a union. I will not dictate Gujarat how they should be living in a union. It's their own life. It's their own right to decide. Same way, the people of Jammu and Kashmir had earned this right to decide for themselves, to legislate for themselves, to have their own identity. So this was rightfully earned status. I don't see anything minus 370 a favor to Jammu and Kashmir. Anything minus 370 is a humiliation to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And you gave a state as big as it existed during 1947, then see the fate of the state. The state that we gave to the Union of India got further divided, half to Pakistan, somewhat to China. Now it's further mutilated. It's divided into two, and the status is that of a union territory. So it has been one-way humiliation ever since J&K acceded to Union of India. I believe now it's time to bounce back. We have lost everything. We cannot lose anything further. We have nothing to lose. It's time to bounce back. From this position, we can only bounce back, and we have to bounce back. We have to earn the rights that the accession and the Constitution of India guaranteed to us, that we rightfully owned. We need to bounce back and struggle for our rights. Anything minus that is a humiliation to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and completely unacceptable.